This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
I don't know. Why would they sit there and watch us talk into microphones and look at each other and look at your faces that you give me sometimes?
And co-host Marney Winfield.
In situations like that, if you take the time to weigh the pros and cons of your involvement in something, I think this is across the board with a lot of things in life. You know, does it make sense for me and my world?
It is the 31st of December, 2023, the last day of the year. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marney Winfield.
Welcome to 217 Recovery Podcast, the end of the year edition, which in like traditions past, we will talk about the people we've lost. We will make some affirmations for the new year, and we will look back at our top 5 moments from 2023.
Yeah.
Where should we begin?
Oh, so much to do, so little time.
All right. And right now it is 8:48 p.m. Eastern time. So we're doing this a little bit early.
Mm-hmm. Well, which is good, though, because we weren't actually going to do this until tomorrow.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought we were going to do it before the new year.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying with the fact that it was like 5:30 and we were both falling asleep on the couch.
That's what happens, I think. You know, people work so hard into the year. It's just like, oh my gosh, we got time to sleep. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. Like, is it really 6:30 and we're going to like call it a night? What?
It's dark out. Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Old. But then we watched the recap from Kevin Hart and the one guy, Keenan something, Thompson guy. And it was, there was one really funny part. And that was about 45 minutes into it. So if you're going to watch it, it's on Peacock. Just go right to 45 minutes into it. When they're talking about the squirrel with the guy with the squirrel. That was funny.
I think it was only as funny as it was is because Kevin Hart thought it was funny.
Right.
Like, it really wasn't that funny to me. But the fact that it got him laughing so, like, legitimately hard. Like, you could just tell it was legit. Like, he was crying.
It's like, what in the Richard Gere are they going to do with that squirrel?
Yeah.
You have to watch it because that part is funny. But and then if you start it where that Jay Farrow guy's on, just stop because there's nothing else really worth anything.
Yeah, but it was worth watching.
Yeah, and there was some funny things they brought up. But that's on Peacock and watch at your discretion. But 45 minutes into it, there you go. Mm-hmm. The people we've lost in 2023, I was like looking through the list. And there's a lot of people that I didn't really recognize. And there were some young people. And I'm like, wait, who's this guy? And I don't really even remember what they were on. But all the young people, it was like a drug overdose. Mm-hmm. And there's so many of them. Even the guy from Parasite. I don't even know. June Ho. Bong. Anyway, they found him in his car. He was 48, and like he had been in this drug use scandal. There was like a government investigation into whether or not he was using drugs. Like, can you imagine if our government did that to us?
Right.
Like, oh, you're using drugs? We're going to do an investigation. What? No. And he said he was being blackmailed and he was tricked into using a drug and he didn't know it was a drug. Well, then he's found dead in his car. So... but like some of the other people, though, I didn't really know. But some of them were child actors, you know. It's just like, damn. Dana Carvey, his son, Dex Carvey, died this year. Overdose. Yeah. It's like, damn. You know, so it's not just happening in Pullman, Michigan. You know, I mean, it's not just happening here. It's not happening. It's happening all over the world, really. Yeah. And, you know, it's just... It's sad, you know, once people get caught up into that and they don't know how to ask for help or maybe they think they don't need to ask for help or I don't know, man. Mm-hmm. Maybe sometimes people think, oh, well, you know, I got Narcan, so I'm good. I don't know. But there were some surprising ones, people I didn't remember dying. Andre Bragner. That's totally screwing up his name. He was the chief on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Did you ever watch that show?
No, I see a lot of people. I'm really bad with putting names to the people, like actors, actresses, all those. But if I see him, I would recognize him probably.
Yeah, he was on the Homicide show too.
I think I remember you telling me.
Yeah, but he just died, I guess. And oh, who else? Somebody who I don't want to forget about, Jimmy Buffett. Mm-hmm. You know, he was kind of a big name. And when it happened, I was just like, yeah, okay. Because he's kind of getting older, and I would just assume the lifestyle he was living probably wasn't the best, but it was just one of those where I'm like, okay, I don't want to forget about that guy. Also, the guy from John Wick.
Oh, the head guy at the hotel?
No.
Who?
No, the guy that was he was like at the desk, the front desk worker.
Oh, right. Yeah.
The tall black guy.
Yeah. Do you have a name for that guy?
I'm looking. Matthew Perry, obviously. And this is something Matthew Perry, it says in here, in his cause of death, because when I heard that Matthew Perry died, I was like, okay, it was probably had to do with drugs. And then people were like, no, he drowned and all this other stuff. And it was a big Facebook thing. And my mom has since like sent me every little Matthew Perry thing ever, which I don't really have time to read. I'm like, okay, that's great. And I know my sister was like, why do people always assume it's drugs? And it's like, well, as an addict myself, former addict, you know, I know that if I started drinking again and I died, I can tell you what it's going to be from.
Right.
You know, and Matthew Perry had never claimed to really be hardcore in recovery. You know, he almost died a few times, but
wasn't his messaging usually just like, I continue to struggle with this and I'm doing the best I can?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of demons in his closet for sure, but it was later determined it was the acute effects of ketamine.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah, you said it was a horse tranquilizer, right?
Mm-hmm.
That will make you fall asleep in the pool or hot tub.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Night Court?
The little guy? Wasn't there a little white guy?
Yeah, he died a long time ago.
Oh, that's the only one I remember.
Oh, the bald guy, Bull. He was like the cop.
Vaguely, actually, kind of. Yeah.
Richard Roundtree, Tyrone's a big fan. Played John Shaft. Shaft movies.
I don't know.
Oh. Okay, we'll keep going on. Suzanne Summers.
Yeah. That's sad. I remember that.
What about Mark Goddard?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I didn't know who that is either. Jeff Burr. Oh, Burt Young. Didn't he just die? Paulie from Rocky. Hey, yo, Rocco.
Oh, yeah. I know who that is.
Why you dating her? Dick Butkus. He died not too long ago. He's a football player. Keith Jefferson. He was in some Quentin Tarantino films. I'm trying to think who else like really kind of struck me as like, whoa. You know Aaron Carter and Nick Carter. Nick Carter was
the little boy band?
Backstreet Boys, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And then his brother Aaron Carter, he was like on the little TV shows or whatever, and then he had a little career for a hot second, and he died.
Really?
Of overdose. Well,
wasn't he like in his 30s?
Maybe 20s. But their sister died of an overdose as well.
Oh, wow.
This past year. I know. I was like, dang.
Wasn't he just recently on that lip sync show?
Not recently.
I mean, like...
I think he died a couple years ago.
Oh.
Aaron Carter. I think Gary Wright. Dreamweaver. The guy from Smash Mouth. And I heard that his was due to alcohol.
So that's just a generic I'm assuming you're getting this off a generic website of some kind.
It's EW.com.
So they're not.
Whatever that is.
So the list is. I mean, it's not like people that died of drug overdoses. There just happens to be a lot of those on there.
Yeah.
That's sad.
I know. That's the first thing I saw when I was looking through here.
Yeah. Not shocking, but sad.
One man who did not die of a drug overdose, but did die at the age of 99.
All right.
Is.
I should know this.
Come on down.
Oh, yeah. Price is Right.
Bob Barker.
Yeah, that's right. It's a legend.
Yeah. But there's just some, like I'm saying, we're not going to hit them all. But my big takeaway was just from the young people. Like when I scroll past them, I see a face like this, Chris Peluso, Broadway star. I haven't read anything of him. It doesn't say anything. But just as like a young guy, I'm like, what? How'd they die? And then I'll read through, he died at age of 40, but it doesn't give a cause of death for him. But the ones that do, it's all because of drug overdose. Mm-hmm. There we are with that. And I'm sure I forgot people. Well, I didn't forget people. Like I said, we're not trying to list them all. But that's a look back at some people that died in 2023. So, should we go on with Pee Wee Herman?
Oh, that's right.
Sinead O'Connor.
Okay.
Okay, Tony Bennett. Okay, I'm stopping. All right, so do you want to do your list first? We're going to do the top 5. And we did, around the office, I told the guys to write down their top moments of 2023, and I did a podcast with Mitch, and I did a podcast with Justin. And so I guess it would be fitting if you started your top 5 moments of 2023.
I'd be more than happy to do that. That's you. Wow, for once it wasn't my phone going off. How about that?
Well, I set an alarm to make sure that it went off right when you were doing your...
Right. So, yeah, I'd be more than happy to do that. My guess is that our lists are going to be pretty similar. That's my guess.
Okay.
So, just saying. But, all right. Do I get a drum roll or anything? To start? Okay. Oh, magic music. That's great. Okay. So, jeez, it's just been a really awesome year so far. I mean, I know I have a couple hours left, but no, it's just, and the thing is too, it's a year. It's just a, it's a period of time. And, I mean, ever since obviously I've gotten sober, that's when I feel like I really started being able to live my life in all reality. So 4+ years or whatever I'm at right now, it's this is everything that I've done. I mean, yeah, there's been setbacks. Yes, there's been tears. Yes, there's been, there's been an ebb and flow to kind of my life in general. But all in all, it's just gotten better and better, So, but in terms of pinpointing actual events and things, that's what my top 5 is. So in reflection of this, they're big things, right? There's lots of cool little things, but they're kind of big things. So the first thing, which you had brought up the other day, which I didn't really realize, is that, so we have 3 cats, and they are our little fur babies. Yeah. They're our little cat children. When I'm away from them, on vacation stuff, I think about what they're doing and are they going to be okay?
She does.
I do.
It's honey, we have automatic feeder. They got 3 water dishes.
I know, but I mean, they're emotional, being separated, and it's a thing. They were our first real, they're part of our family, really.
Yeah.
And you brought up the fact that our littlest guy, Hudson, is going to be, well, he's a year now. He's a year old. But we got him a year ago tomorrow.
Yep.
So that was a significant part of 2023 for me. We brought him home on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So, and just the overall fact, not that I love him more than our other cats. It's just
He's the best one.
it's just the significance of the fact that pets, I think in general, are just, they're beautiful additions to family. Like they're lovely. And, I don't know, they're kind of like non-judgmental. They've been with us through the good and bad, right? They stick by you. And, I don't know. It's just, so I just kind of wanted to touch on that because they're kind of a big part of me and like our life.
Yeah.
Number 4, and see, these are all so great. So like this was really hard, but I did the best I could. So 4, and like I said, I'm not trying to steal your thunder because this is a more you thing than me, but the 217 Recovery Center opened, which was huge for us. And like the way I look at things is that when you achieve goals for yourself, in a way, I feel like they're my goals as well. You know what I mean? Like they kind of go hand in hand. Like your accomplishments, it's not like I'm taking ownership of them. It's I get to enjoy them and celebrate them with you.
Yeah, you're right there with me though.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
not like you're just like, yeah, go do your thing.
No, yeah. I mean, yeah, and I'll touch on that piece later. But along with that, I mean, there's all these awesomeness with that in itself is like we were able to give the opportunities that opened up was huge, right? In terms of, having staff that is, providing services and trailblazing this amazing thing in recovery to provide, experience, strength, and hope to other people out there who are still struggling as far as recoveries and meetings and events and volunteering and all these things that were just dreams for a long time have actually come into like reality. So that was my number 4. Number 3, it also has a lot of subsets because I completed my master's in social work. So I graduated, with my master's degree. And with that came another slew of, amazing things. In addition, I also studied for and submitted my credits and passed an exam to be a certified alcohol and drug counselor as well. So two big accomplishments there in terms of like my professional status or life or whatever you want to call it, which in turn led me to the start of my new position as a clinical therapist in a treatment center here in town. So amazing stuff there. That's like my professional role. But that also is it also coincides with my personal goals too, because being in recovery and helping other people, who are struggling. Number 2 is where we are right now, which is the purchase of our home.
Oh.
So first time home buyers, waded through that stuff and here we are. So it's probably not going to be our forever home, but it's our awesome for now home. And it's wonderful. And it's going to be a great and amazing place for us to have, which leads me into my number 1.
Oh, here it is.
Which is to introduce our baby boy who will be coming into the world and joining our family in May of this year.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a pretty good list, though.
It's an amazing list. And in fact, I was thinking about if I was to say like, oh, well, because I was noticing on the show we were watching how it was saying, hey, talk about the best and then talk about the worst. And I mean, nobody really wants to dwell on the worst. But I was thinking if I did have to like highlight or outline something that I felt like was the worst, it's just all of those big things came with struggles along with it.
Yep.
All of those things came with like hardships and difficulties and letdowns. And I mean, I'm thinking about, in hindsight, like the schoolwork that I had to do and the projects that I had to work on and the hours and hours and hours of studying and paper writing. And that was a lot of work. A lot.
You didn't just graduate with, oh, okay, I got my master's. You were like top of class or something, right? What do they call that?
Yeah, I graduated with honors.
Yeah, that's my wife. That's what she did. Yeah, but to say that, that's great. But like you said, the struggle, the work that it took to accomplish that.
Yeah.
You know, like there's something to be said with that, you know, and there's something worth doing. It's going to take work.
Yeah.
You know, and you're going to accomplish your goals, but it feels damn good now. Mm-hmm. Aren't you glad you did all that work?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, there were days you didn't want to. I know that.
And I think that the stuff, I don't think things that are just like that fall in your lap really are appreciated as much.
Right.
And that's really not how the world works either. I mean, even like with our home, right? I mean, we weren't planning on it. It's not like, hey, this year we're going to buy a house. Like that wasn't how it was even a thought in our head. It's just conversation led from one thing to another thing. And then, we had our eyes set on one place and, you know, it fell through and, you know, you look at places and this part doesn't work or this stuff, you know, and that's just a pain. And then we had the pipe break in the basement before we had even moved in. And we're like, of course it would. Why wouldn't it?
Still not fixed today.
Why would it go seamlessly? I mean,
the realtor said that.
It's us.
I should give her a Google review.
So
anyway,
and same thing with our, you know, with the pregnancy. Like for those of the people who listen, who, you know, or in our friends and family know that, you know, we've been trying for a while to, you know, to get pregnant and to have a viable pregnancy, and we've had a lot of struggles with that. And
it's not the kind of struggles you might be thinking. Well, maybe they are the kind of struggles you've been thinking, but a lot of people would say, man, Corey, it's fun making babies, isn't it? No, it's not. Not when the pressure's on. Like it is. It's not just like, hey, let me smack your ass and let me, you know, no, it's like, it's business time, and it's a whole different frame of mind than just, hey, let's have some sex today. Okay. No, we have to do this, you know? And then I'm like, oh my God, okay, gotta be right, you know? And not the fact that I wasn't performing, but I'm just saying it's not as easy as you think.
Yeah. We don't want to go into too TMI, but it is. And in people who are planning to get pregnant, it's a pretty common thing, is you actually have to, you do the math and you have to do, you know, and plan it.
Windows open,
blah, blah, blah. But yeah, also to considering the fact that we knew that we were going to have a challenge, you know, that we're older parents. And, you know, so you had to have, you know, medicine and science and all that stuff. So, but, no, it worked out well and things are going well so far, and it's going to be amazing. So,
yes.
Yeah. So really, really excited. So that was my 2023 top 5.
All right. And we'll begin mine. Here's my top 5 moments from 2023. And of course, I didn't want to put it in here because I think it's just obvious that I just got, on the 15th of December, I got my 5-year coin. Mm-hmm. So 5 years of sobriety. Without that, none of this would even be possible. So,
yes.
You know, that's not even on the list. It's just
disclaimer.
Yeah, that's just part of life. Like none of this would even happen if I wasn't sober. So number 5 is putting on a recovery event. The Recovery Stories Message of Hope Part 1. Mm-hmm. Putting that on and it going really well. And everybody kind of coming together as they were supposed to. You know, so much of 217 recovery, a lot of it had been just me trying to do everything myself. I cannot do that. I have to rely on other people, and putting people in the right spots to make things happen the way they're supposed to is what a good leader should do. Mm-hmm. You know, and everybody that kind of came to and the people that you recruited, Kim in the kitchen, Mitch was kind of the MVP of the whole thing. He was doing everything, so having that event go well and then having video of it, if you haven't seen some of the recovery stories, they're up there. The Message of Hope stories, I still need to work on and get them up there, which will be very soon, because we just announced that we're having Recovery Stories Message of Hope Part 2 on February 29th here in Traverse City at the Grand Traverse Event Center. So definitely got to have the first ones done before we start the second one. So that is my number 5. My number 4 is, there's 2 ways I can say this one. There's I Cheated Death, and then there's Vacation in Seattle. Because you had me walking them hills like you wanted me to die.
Oh, geez.
Like, I don't know what your deal is and why you hated Uber or why you hated me so much, but Seattle was tough on my body. But it was fun, and it was a nice getaway, a nice vacation. It was our honeymoon.
That's true. I forgot about that.
We had a beautiful room, and we had breakfast every day. It was the same one, but it could be different if you wanted to mix it up with the buffet. But it was good for the most part, and it was just a fun time, except for the flight back, sitting next to the kid who shit himself. But other than that, and the near death experiences that I had multiple times, it was a fun trip. It really was.
It was.
And we even got to hit a meeting out there, and that was pretty cool. So that was my number 4. Number 3 is buying a home with you. If you would ask, well, a year ago, I didn't have a job. I had no income. If you'd have said, hey, you want to buy a house next year? I would have said, shut up. I'm never buying a house again. The house that I bought on my own in Arkansas, it didn't work out so hot. Of course, that you have to have insurance on it or whatever if you don't put so much down. And so it's not like anything that was like super bad on my credit or anything, but I ended up moving back to Michigan, couldn't sell it, still owed a bunch on it. And yeah, the bank just did a short sale is what they call it and wash your hands of it. But I was just like, man, I'm never going to own a home again. I don't want to mow my yard. Well, we don't have to here.
Right. But
yeah, so that's something I did not see coming this year, but I know that's something that you really wanted, and I'm just like, okay, well, what do you need from me? So I just kind of was the third wheel on that one, just riding in the back. Okay, what else you need? Here it is. But no, I'm glad we did. I really am, and especially like you said, with your number 1, which I got one coming. So number 2 on my list is opening the 217 Recovery Center. And you were talking about, the stuff that we do and the little things. And there's just a bunch of things that go along with the 217 Recovery Center. When you were saying that, I started thinking about how many lives have been changed because we opened it. And not everybody that walks through the doors of the 217 Recovery Center is going to be like, all right, hey, yeah, give me that holy water, heal. Woo, yeah. But there are people that go there and that love to come there and hang out and just talk to us, and their lives have been changed. If they never would have met us, if they never would have came through them doors, I don't know where they'd be.
Right.
So I look at it like that. And even the people that come through, and I'm talking about Jeremy, who come through and, they have to go back and do other stuff. He still has been touched by 217 Recovery and our kind of motto of having fun in recovery. There's no doubt in my mind. Does everybody do everything right all the time? No, absolutely not. And I had many attempts and failed, at early recovery. But here I am today saying it is possible. And if you can have fun in recovery, and that's the kind of thing that we want to put out there to people, and they come to the office and they feel that. I had a guy say, like, man, I came in here and I felt welcomed the minute I walked in the door. Yeah. He's like, it was clean. It was nice. You guys were just cool. He's like, this is my place. He's like, I really, really love coming here for meetings, and it's like, yeah, that's what we want. So opening that, and just like I said, the lives that have been changed already. How many more? Yeah. That's the cool part of having the 217 Recovery Center. and the hard work that it took to open those doors. And God played a huge role in that as well.
Absolutely.
You know, even to finding the perfect location for it, which I was like, no, it's too small. No, we need it bigger. We need to have a band over there, and there's some basketball games going. But it's exactly what we needed, and I'm glad I brought you and Justin that day to look at it, and you guys were like, perfect. Yep.
Yeah.
And Jill, our landlord there, she's just been awesome.
Yeah, she's sweet.
You know, she's very, very cool and
very supportive of what we do.
Yeah, it's nice. It couldn't have been any better.
Yeah.
Like, we really couldn't have. So that's number 2 for me. And then number 1, having a baby boy. You know, we found that out. Well, of course, we've been trying. And was it September is when we kind of knew, or was it October? We're like, okay, we're on the right track, but can't tell nobody.
I think it was end September, maybe, or beginning October.
Yeah. So then we went for my dad's birthday party, my stepdad's birthday party in October. That was kind of beginning of October.
So maybe it was September, mid-September.
Yeah, into September. We're like, okay, let's just cross our fingers, because it was very, very early then.
Yeah.
And then we didn't tell our family until kind of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So it was like one of those, like, oh. And now we're going on Thursday for the 20-week ultrasound.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And I'm freaking out a little.
Well, welcome to my world.
I have 60 pounds I want to lose. And I just have to do it. You know, I just want to be in better shape, and holding a baby and taking a baby around. I don't want to be tired. And I really do think I had COVID last week, but I think our tests are so old or something that they didn't pick it up because I'm just like out of breath. Like I was when I had COVID. I just remember that being a thing. I was like, gosh, I've never been so out of breath before. So I don't know. Maybe I had COVID, maybe I didn't, but it seemed like it, and it still feels like it. But yeah, having a boy and a little baby, and then finding out it's a boy, you know, that was something crazy, because like I said, we were like crossing our fingers mode. And then we had some tests done, you know, to make sure everything was kind of cool with chromosomes, stuff like that. And that's when they told us, you know, the boy, and they asked us if we wanted to know. And we're like, absolutely. And you were certain, oh, I know it's a boy. I can tell. And she called and said, yep, the baby's healthy. You know, you guys are in the good there. And you're going to have a little boy. You're going to have a little prince or something, she said.
Yeah, she said you're going to have a little prince.
I was like, oh, my gosh. So it's just one of those things. But never having been a father, I'm pretty good with Nico. She's our cat that's 13. Nico's seen the shit. She's been around for the shit storm. And I think I've done pretty well with her. But
are you literally thinking about raising our child, comparing it to your cat?
I'm just saying, she has food.
Do you pick Nico up?
No, she doesn't like to be picked up. She's just one of them cats that doesn't want to be picked up. You pick her up, she's like, eh. And now she's so big, it's like, she's like, eh, what do I do? I'm going to the vet. Oh no. That's what she thinks immediately. But Nico's pretty good though. Like if I tell her to move, she'll move. So there's really no need to pick her up.
She does listen.
If I'm like, Nico, come here, go over there, lay in mama's spot. Because like when we make our bed every morning, she loves sleeping in my spot. So she'll jump up and she'll wait. And I'm like, go to mama's spot. So she'll go to your spot. And then she'll wait for me to make mine. And then I'm like, all right, come over to daddy's spot. And then she'll come over to my spot. And then I can make your side of the bed if you haven't already made it. So yeah, she's good with that. I don't have to pick her up. But I guess I was comparing it.
Okay, well, let's start.
Because that's all I really have to go on.
She's still alive. That's good.
Yeah.
That's all I have to go on. Yeah.
But yeah, I just have some goals I want to accomplish. And, you know, at least I have that in my mind. And I really don't want diabetes either. So I really need to start now. You know, I mean, I can put it off another couple days, which I probably will, but just cut out the crap. You know, I did that for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and I started feeling a little bit better. And then, of course, the holidays, they just screw everything
I'm
up.
telling you, it's just not realistic.
It's not.
It's really not. It's just, yeah. So, I mean, like the overall Well, you played our 2020 reflections on 2022 podcast before we did this one today.
Yeah, we listened to it.
Yeah, and I was like, man, I said some good stuff. But it's funny because and I still feel the same way about resolutions or whatever. It's, mine is just maintaining my sobriety because that's like the cornerstone of everything good in my life. And that's like a daily reprieve. So every day that's my resolution. And obviously this whole experience with our child it's going to open up so many new challenges and doors and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, kind of setting my sights on being knowledgeable, not like I want to read a bunch of books about it, even though I probably will that too, but it's more so kind of going through the motions and just being a healthy human being. But, being good parents, being a good mom, and what that's going to look like. And so that's kind of like, the big umbrella of my hopes and dreams for this next upcoming year.
And this isn't going to shock you, but I'm not going to read any books about how to raise a kid.
You're not going to read any books?
No, I don't read books. I listen to them.
Okay. You know what I mean. Yeah.
But I'm done with that because prime example, I know some people that if they wrote a book, hey, this is how you raise your kid, that is a book that you would not want to read. And I know you know who I'm talking about. And how many other people are out there writing these books that this is how you should raise your kid? Now, I am going to watch videos like hacks. Like, here's how you change a diaper real fast. Or, here's how you open a box of cereal or whatever. I'll watch those. I mean, I know how to open a box of cereal. That was kind of a bad example. I'm just saying. I'll watch those videos all day.
Like, I want to know how to make baby food.
Yeah, might watch that. But I'm not going to read a book on here because we are pretty grounded in our morals and have that going for us, I think, for the most part. And I don't want to say that my kid's never going to cry at the store. Oh, I'm sure he will. But I'm not going to yell at him. I have some wood. I need to knock on something. But, I'm going to do my best to control myself because that's just what I want to do. I don't want to yell at my kid in public and I don't want my kid screaming in public. So, but there's a time he might, I don't know. But I think with good parenting, it'll just come natural. I think that he'll just be around me and be cool as hell.
Yeah.
He'll just be cool.
Well, it is interesting, the unsolicited input that you get from other people about parenting is when you're pregnant.
You look over their kids.
And then you're just kind of curious and you're thinking about it. Like,
through the store.
Like how did that go, for me? Or like, what did I see when I saw, fill in the blank or whatever, when they were raising their kid and stuff. And then some people are just like, I just don't take my kid to the store. It's like, that's how they fixed that one. Just, I don't take my kid anywhere. And I'm like, yeah, I don't see that as, that's just avoiding. I don't know about that, but, I'm not saying I always want to take my kid to the store, but I'm just saying, yeah. So there's little things that we're just going to deal with them as they come along.
Yeah. But that's what I say. I'm not going to read books. I'm not going to read books from some
that's
other
okay.
lady.
I didn't actually expect you to read any books.
No, because you had us get one and we listened to it on our trip downstate for the holiday. And I don't even think I think you like zoned out.
I did.
Like 10 minutes in, I'm just like, what is this lady talking about?
It was more than I listened to it, but it was repetitive.
Yeah, it's enough for me. So that is the top list, though, for me and Marney. 2023, our top moments. So hopefully you enjoyed that. And it's a very personal podcast for us tonight. And we have to watch balls drop.
Yep.
Or a ball drop.
We watched London's ringing in of the new year.
Yeah, that was like nuts.
How much do you think that cost?
billion.
It was up
Enough
on
to
the
feed
upwards
everybody
of
in the world.
a couple mil for sure.
Yeah, it was overkill. It was stupid. Like it was just.
It was like we turned it off. It was still going.
That's
it was
all they
probably
got.
like 10 minutes of insane fireworks.
What other cities are in England that they could have done it in? Berkshire or something?
I don't know.
I think that was in Braveheart or something. I don't know, but there needs to be another city because London just doesn't really do it for me. And this says everybody's welcome in London. But we'll get off the podcast now as Marney's going to have the mic trouble. But thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you in 2024.
Thanks, everybody, and I hope everybody rings in the new year well.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. We hope you come back for our next episode.